Rise and shine, it's espresso time. Good morning, Believe Nation, it's Evan. My one word is believe, and I believe in you. I believe you have an amazing gift inside you that I want to see explode out into the world. So grab your coffee and sip on today's message. Be fearless. Over to you, Sadhguru.
I wake up every morning. Espresso keep me going. I wake up every morning.
Not a single day passes for me
Right.
without witnessing tears of joy and love around me. Every day, somebody will be shedding tears of love and joy. I don't think there's a better way to live in this world. And all of us should strive to create our own circles of joyfulness and pleasantness around us. Because if you're not joyful by your own nature, if you're always going around with the fear of suffering, as long as fear of suffering is there within you, you will never walk your life with full stride. It'll always be half a step. Most human beings have crippled themselves simply because of fear of suffering. What will happen to me is always the question. Whatever happens, this is how I will be. If this assurance comes to you, only now you will want to scale the peaks of life and see what about it. If it happens, makes no difference to you. If it doesn't happen, makes no difference to you. That's when you would like to really explore every dimension of life. So first and foremost thing is this, that your way of being is not determined by what's around you. If you bring this one aspect to you, there is no fear of suffering. Once there is no fear of suffering, you will traverse the breadth and length of this life without hesitation.
So I really love watching Sadhguru and hearing his wisdom and advice, and I think of all the people that I profile on this channel, there's maybe nobody else that I disagree with as much as well, or I conflict with. I love the message and I disagree with it at the same time, which means that I need to keep profiling him and I need to keep learning the messages. My take on this is I don't think you can be fearless. I agree with the message that fear should not be the thing that's holding you back from doing the thing that you want to go off and do. Fear of suffering or fear of anything should not hold you back from pursuing your dreams and going after your goals. But I don't know how to get to the point of being completely fearless. Maybe if you get to yogi level, maybe that's just a limiting belief for myself. I've never met anybody who's completely fearless. I think the important thing though is that when you feel the fear, then you have to go out and still do the thing anyway. I look at filming here as an example. I've told this story a couple times. Filming here with people walking by would make me nervous when we first started. And it's funny how we get some comments that this is a green screen. Is that a green screen with a mall behind you? Like, this is not a green screen. This is a real mall. This is my China Dance Salsa studio, and those are real people walking behind me. And so when I started doing it, I felt nervous that people were watching, and some people look in while I'm filming. And feeling that fear and knowing where I want to go, knowing the kind of channel that I want to build and knowing the impact that I want to have means that I need to be able to overcome that fear. And I found that all the greatest things that I've ever accomplished in my life and the big feelings of joy and happiness and excitement have come by busting through a fear that I had. And so getting used to when I feel that knot in my stomach of feeling afraid to do something, that I push through it because I know something great is on the other side of that wall of fear. And so I don't know that you can become fearless. I don't have the answer to people to do it. Maybe Sadhguru does. But I agree with him in that whatever that fear is that you have, it should not hold you back from living the life that you want to live. So the question of the day today is, I'm curious, can you be fearless? Is it possible? And if so, do you have a resource to share with me? I would love to hear from you. Please leave it down in the comments below. I also want to give a quick shout out to the Priyanka Chopra fan club. Thank you so much for picking up a copy of my new book, The Top 10 Rules to Success, with Priyanka on the cover right there. She made it. She has such great advice, and so I'm glad that you picked up the book and are loving it as well. Thank you so much for your support and tweeting out the picture as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. I believe in you. I hope you continue to believe in yourself and whatever your one word is. Much love, and I'll see you again tomorrow morning for another shot of espresso.
I wake up every morning. Espresso keep me going.
Right after the HBO show aired, I produced 2 feature films that were big hits. They premiered at like Cannes Film Festival and Sundance, and I like got an award that Natalie Portman gave me on TV that my dad watched, and it was like a big, big deal. And I just like, I remember having this moment where I realized that like I was so deep into this thing that wasn't really, it didn't feel right to me. And it's different trying to find opportunities when you are in a place of success, when you're in a place of comfort. Like I was no longer starving, I wasn't hungry anymore, I had some recognition. But something didn't feel right, and that was when I took this big pivot, and that pivot was to like, you know what, it's not the politics, it's not the Natalie Portman giving me the award, it's not the schmoozing that I love. I love telling stories. Telling stories is my passion. And that was when I decided to sort of walk away from TV and walk away from movies. And I just wanted to make YouTube videos. And I remember like my big Hollywood agent, when I sort of told that to him, he was like, oh God, Casey, no. You know, this is 4 years ago, YouTube, 5 years ago now, YouTube was nothing. It was something that was silly. It was like a really great place to go and watch cats play the piano. And I wanted to like parlay my career as a very successful filmmaker into that. And I can't tell you the opportunities that were birthed from that. It's given me what I have today. That's opportunity. Those are opportunities. Those are opportunities that in the moment I couldn't have told you were opportunities. I didn't know what they were. They were something that just felt right. They were something that looked right. I did my best calculations. I took my best guess. It wasn't reckless. I never operate recklessly, and this is an important differentiation between recklessness and fearlessness. I always do my best to operate without fear. Don't not do something. Don't skip something because I'm afraid to do it, but make sure it's a smart decision. And then part two of that is obligation. I feel obliged to embrace opportunities like that. I felt obliged to quit my job. I felt obliged to walk away from HBO. And the obligation was because there was something in me, there was a truth that I wanted. And the obligation was to embrace that.
Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
I'm one of those black people that you meet in life where if someone says, I'm not racist, I've got a black friend, I would have been that black friend.
That's not.
The assimilation was complete. But along with being the chip in the cookie at a very young age came the advice from my parents, which I think a lot of our parents in this room have probably given us. You are going to have to be bigger, badder, better just to be considered equal. Which is very accurate advice. But what it does to the self-esteem of a small child is to say that you are always going to not be good enough. So in school, I would try to do this to my lips so I wouldn't have big lips. Didn't want to be too black. Had to make sure that I always got those, you're so articulate compliments. Which, by the way, if you ever say that to an adult, it's actually not a compliment. I wanted to make sure my hair was so straight. I used to leave relaxers on my hair so long I would get lesions. Because I wanted to fit in, I wanted to be good enough. I didn't want to be a joke, and I didn't want to be a loser. Anytime some guy did not return my love, it was because I'm not good enough, because I'm a joke, I'm a loser. When I got raped at 19 at my after-school job, It wasn't just some awful coincidence, some terrible freak accident. It wasn't an unspeakable crime. It was because I was a joke and a loser, and this is what happens. When I got divorced, I'm a joke and a loser, of course. Show gets canceled, joke and a loser, of course. And on that day in August, when I started doing the work, they were like, you've got to replace that voice in your head that's telling you you're a joke and a loser. You've got to stop being crippled by a fear of possible humiliation. That little voice that pops up in your head that says, don't raise your hand, you're not going to answer the question right. Don't put that on, you're too big. Don't wear your hair like that, it's so ugly. Nothing in my closet works. I'm so dumb, I can't do it. No one's going to love me. Why is my pain unique? Replace that. And it sounded so cliche and so easy. And that day, I decided to stop telling myself that I was a joke and a loser, but that I was dope and fly and amazing.
Let me give you the one-word secret to happiness. One word. This is all you need to be happy.
The most important word ever.
If you had to think of one word that's most important to you, or that sums you up, or that would be kind of like a little beacon.
If you want another amazing video highlighting excellence in the Indian community, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.